Hi all. I guess I think you guys are able to see my screen now. Now we will see how to the third step. So far in the previous step we have seen how did we log into Azure portal and how did we created the Azure Key Vault. And in this step we are going to see this particular step, step number 3. So creating the app registrations and linking it with the Azure Key Vault. So in my another browser, and if you see, I have just logged in. I have logged into my Azure portal, and once you log into the Azure portal, and these are the resources that you could see it here. And very important thing, once after creating the Azure Key Vault is the app registration part, so that you guys would be very much aware of. Like we need to register it with as an app, so that we can get it access from the outside, and other access things you can do it whenever you do it with the app registration part. So if you see here, I have already registered this as a separate applications. So this is how I have given the name as app key vault -reg, and this is my client ID, and these are the other details and all. I'll just show you how did I do it. Once I click on this create new, it will ask me for the name. So I just have to give the name here. I can give any valid name here, and then just leave the other thing as default and may not do anything, and just click on a register. So once you do that, right, it will create the application name like this. One important thing that we have to note it down here is the client and secret, sorry, this part, this once you open this particular registration, if you click on this certificate and secrets, right? So this is where we will create the secrets. So there is something called new client secret, right? You just have to click on this button and then it will ask for certain details, and then it will, you can create the secret value for it. Like if you click on a secret, right, you click on this new client secret, you have to mention the description for it, and then you just have to click on start. I think it got it is showing beside this particular stop sharing. So after that, right, it gets created. And if you see here, once after created, immediately it will show you a value that is nothing but the secret value. So this it will show just till you close that window only. So you have to note down that value, and that particular value we have to be we will be using that in our application dot properties. So when you open this application dot properties, right, this is that particular key. We have to mention it here. And one another important thing is this particular secret ID and all, right. So if you see here, and this is the secret ID, and I think that will also be mentioned it here. And other important thing is once after done with this is nothing but creating this secret. And once you come to the overview part of it, yeah, so here you can identify few IDs are coming up here, right? Like say for example directory tenant ID. I think this directory tenant ID is nothing but the same thing. I think this directory tenant ID is common for all the app that we are creating it. Even in the Azure Key Vault you can find the same tenant ID here. And another important thing is this application client ID. So whatever application client ID that you are seeing it here, right? A8B2B, if you come and search it here, so that is the client ID. We would be mentioning it here in your application.properties. So basically, in your application.properties, once after you are done with creation of the Azure Vault, these are the steps that we have to follow. You have to log in, creating the Azure Vault. After creating it, you have to come to the app registration and do the app registration for it. And then after, right, you have to come to this application.property file, and then you have to mention all these details here, like portal URL, and then the key vault URL, and then the tenant ID of it, and then the client ID of it. This is the tenant ID of the app registration, and this is the client secret key that you have to mention it here. So after mentioning all these things, right, another important steps that we have to do here is uh, making the link. When I say link, is this entire part, whatever that we have seen here is like all about creating the app registration part. Another important thing is you have to go to your vault, and there will be something called access. Once again, yeah, access control, I guess. Yeah, no, I think access policies. So when you click on access policies, right, so here it will ask for the application for which you wanted to grant the access. So you come here and click on a create button here, which I'm hovering it here. Once you click on a create, so here you just have to mention the default things, like you can say you have to tell for what are all the objects the applications can access. When I say objects inside, these are the objects present inside your vault, like key permission, secret permission, certificate. Since in this particular demo we are mainly focusing on the kind of an key, right? I mean, like everything we are storing it as a key and value pair. Like even the entire file we encrypted and storing it as a key, and then we are getting it back as a value. I think we are using secret. Sorry to confuse you. I think we are using secret here, and you just have to click on select all there, and then after, right, once you click on the next page here, once after clicking that, right, it will ask for that. Once again, I can show you guys once. So you can select here, you can select this key permissions also, you can select this certificate permissions also. So which means now that we selected all these things, we nothing but we're granting the permissions for that particular applications. So since we created that app registrations over there, right, it will show up here, app key vault rec. This is the name I have given for my app registration. So it will show up here. You just have to select this and then click on next, and the very next page you just have to click on submit. That's it. So which means in this step what we have done is we are just creating, we are just linking once after creating your app registration, right? You are just coming here and linking that application and providing the access in your Azure Vault. So I think that is all about this particular step, like creating the app registration and going to the Azure Key Vault and then providing the access to that app registrations, whatever that we created it. So the rest of the things I will cover in the next video. Thanks for watching once again.